My name is Elena, and for 10 years I lived in silence. Not the gentle kind of quiet that soothes the soul, but a silence born of grief. A silence that wrapped around my throat and made me invisible. Once, I had a voice people stopped to hear. As a child in my little coastal town in Spain, I sang with my mother while she cooked or hung laundry, and neighbors would pause outside our window to listen. Fishermen would clap when I sang by the docks. They called me the girl with the angel's voice. Music was not just what I did, it was who I was. And then, one day, everything changed. I grew up by the sea. My father was a fisherman, quiet and steady. My mother was music itself. She filled our home with songs, and I believed I would carry that gift into the world. But when I was 15, tragedy struck. My mother died suddenly, and with her, my voice disappeared. At her funeral, I tried to sing, but no sound came. It felt like every note was a wound reopening. I shut my mouth, and little by little, I stopped speaking altogether. What began as grief turned into habit. People said I was shy, strange, broken. I took odd jobs in cafes, shops, cleaning houses, and drifted through life without a sound. But the truth is, I never truly stopped singing. At night, alone in my room, I sang softly to the moon. Those secret songs were my only way of surviving. My voice became a whisper only I could hear. For 10 years, silence defined me. I lived quietly, worked quietly, avoided questions. Friends faded away. My world grew smaller, but deep inside, music was still alive. I sang in whispers to remember my mother. I sang because even if no one heard me, the sound reminded me that I was still here. And then, after a decade of hiding, something happened that changed everything. A childhood friend, Marta, invited me to a local choir. I refused again and again, but finally, to stop her insisting, I went only to listen. The rehearsal room was warm, voices filling the air with harmonies. I stayed silent until the pianist began to play Ave Maria, my mother's favorite song. Before I knew it, my lips opened. A shaky, fragile note escaped. The room froze. Everyone turned to look at me, and then tears filled their eyes. After 10 years of silence, my voice had returned. The director simply said, "We rehearse on Tuesdays." That simple invitation was enough to spark something inside me. That night I couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, I wondered if I could sing not just in secret but in public. I made a decision that shocked everyone, including myself. I signed up for a talent show audition. People laughed. Elena? The silent girl? On stage? But I knew I had to try. The day of the audition arrived. My knees shook as I stepped into the lights. The judges looked at me with doubt. My voice cracked when I said my name. Then the music began. I closed my eyes, thought of my mother, and sang. The first note broke through 10 years of silence. At first, it wavered, but then it grew stronger. Every word carried the grief, the love, the memory of my mother. By the end, the audience was on their feet. Judges covered their mouths in shock. People were crying, and me, I stood there with tears streaming down my face, finally free. That night, my life changed forever. My audition went viral. Millions watched and wrote messages like, "She sings like an angel who walked through fire." For the first time, I wasn't the silent girl. I was Elena, the woman who had found her voice again. I began traveling, performing, telling my story. I spoke to schools, churches, community centers. I raised money for mental health programs and youth arts. Most importantly, I began speaking again. I realized my silence was not weakness, it was survival. And when the time came, I learned that voices, no matter how long they hide, can rise again. Sometimes people ask me, "How did you do it? How did you sing after so long?" The truth is, I didn't come back stronger. I came back honest. My grief shaped my voice into something deeper. Now, when I sing, I feel my mother beside me. Her lullabies live in my breath. My silence lives there too, not as an enemy, but as part of my story. And that's what I tell others. If you are living in silence, you are not broken. You are not forgotten. Sometimes silence is survival, but silence doesn't last forever. After 10 years, I sang again. And when I did, the world listened. Today, my message is simple. Your voice is patient. It will wait for you, no matter how long it takes. And when you're ready, it will rise. That is why I sing now. Not just for myself, not just for my mother. I sing for you, for everyone who hears my story, for everyone who feels trapped in silence, for everyone waiting for hope to return. This song is my gift to you. May it remind you that even in your darkest nights, your voice, too, will rise again.
I lived in shadows, I hid my song. Silent nights that fell so long. These were my silent tears. No one could hear my voice, but deep inside my tears, a whisper made its choice. Alone with the moon, I softly prayed, waiting for courage, waiting for day. These were my silent tears. No one could hear my voice, but deep inside my tears, a whisper made its choice. I faced the light with trembling hands, but love was stronger, it helped me stand. This is my voice, it rises again, out of the shadows, free from the pain. Each note I sing is hope reborn, a broken soul no more forlorn. This is my voice, it rises again, out of the shadows, free from the pain. lost. Don't be afraid. Your voice will rise. It only waits.